Hello everyone, John Coleman here, 2nd of November, hey? Yes, it'll be countdown towards Christmas at this point, but for the moment, I hate even bringing that word up, but I've seen a few ads for it already, so I do apologise in advance. For those of you who are planning to buy a home next year, it is a good idea to spend money with cash that you might have sided away rather than taking it out of your bank accounts. That will make your bank accounts look better in the new year. There's your free tip for today on that. Don't want to be a killjoy either. What I want to discuss really is three things that have come up in the last month. One is just my overview on the market and what's happening. Two then is one of the banks made a big interest rate cut. Just want to discuss that. And then the third thing basically is the news of one of the banks that has been put up for sale. So just going to start with the overview, and let me just bring up some information for you and just go through. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, well, this is just Bank of Ireland's monthly report in terms of prices and etc. So what they're basically saying is the market has gone up by about 5.3% in Dublin, and outside of Dublin 9.2% year on year, and that's to the end of August, right? So what they're saying then is it's kind of the asking price you're looking at is kind of 8% over the asking price is what the price is. They are suggesting the house price inflation is going down a little bit, but it's still really, really difficult to try to buy a home, because if you look down here, the housing availability is basically there's only 13,000 available houses on myhome.ie, and that's kind of no increase on last year, well below the 20,000 that would have been available pre-COVID. So it kind of just gives you a sense as to the supply and demand hasn't really got any better for people trying to buy a house. Next thing that I wanted to talk about was, AIB have reduced their non-green rates by about, in some cases, by up to 0.65%. Now, while that sounds great, they were well out of line in relation to the market. Bank of Ireland still have the best non-green rate out there, but obviously AIB have got themselves a bit closer. But anyone moving has certainly got... it shakes up the market a bit. Others may react, others may follow. So that's just something obviously we'll keep an active eye on. But just to bring that to your attention, that there was a big movement during the week, but at the same time, it hasn't really changed a lot. But it will certainly be a welcome move of other banks kind of respond to this and reduce their rates. But we'll keep an active eye on that for you all. So the next and final thing I want to discuss really is the announcement on Thursday that Permanent TSB are putting themselves up for sale. So what does that actually mean? Okay, well, the first thing it means, it doesn't mean anything at the moment because no one has agreed to buy them, okay? All we can go on is the recent past. There were two banks that were put up for sale. One was KBC and the other was basically Ulster Bank. Ironically, Permanent TSB bought Ulster Bank's book and Bank of Ireland have bought KBC's book. What does it mean at the moment? Are they still open for business? Absolutely still open for business. Is it going to change anything in the short term? Absolutely not. Here's what's likely to happen. They're saying that within the first 6 months of next year, they will have a proposed buyer, or they hope to have a proposed buyer. That could be anyone from outside the state. It could be potentially one of the banks here in Ireland, but I really doubt that, purely because I don't know if the government would allow that, because it would just create too much of a monopoly, but I could be wrong on that. So what will happen then is, once there's an agreed buyer, there's then a kind of a period of time, and that could take up to 2 years before due diligence is done on the buyer, and literally making sure that any movement from one bank to the other is all done in a seamless way and that no customer is affected by it. So that obviously takes time. So for the moment, there's absolutely nothing to worry about from people who are actually with mortgages or with permanent TSB or looking to go to permanent TSB, and they still may be the choice, the best choice at this point in time. So I wouldn't have any fears on that front. The two transfers recently of KBC and Ulster Bank actually were quite seamless in truth, and they took time, and that's why I'm predicting that it could be another 2.5 years before anything kind of final, as it's been completely finalised and settled. But from an overall point of view, I would hope it's a potentially a big foreign bank that comes in that wants to, I suppose, take on the market, create more market share for themselves, which ultimately will help the consumer, because the only way they're going to do that really is on a rates point of view. But that's just a personal opinion, and it all remains to be seen. So listen, thanks for listening. Hope you got some good information from this month's overview, and we will be discussing, I suppose, at the start of next year what you should be doing to get yourself ready for January 26th if you're looking to buy. Okay, thanks for now. Bye.